Okay, so today in the workshop we've got, who's this? It's George. So George is going to be helping me, and what we're going to do today is going to fix this bedside. So what George is going to do at the moment, he's just starting to pick off all the vinyl, and then we're going to cut the bedside straight the way up through here, and then we're going to grind it up and put it back in the mould and re-fibreglass the back bit. So he's just trying to pick up the edges on them now, and then we're going to use the heat gun to finish getting off all the rest of the vinyl where it says Swamp Thing. Ready? Mm-hmm. Nearly all the vinyl's off now, so George is just on the very last bit. So what we're looking at now is, I don't know if you can see it, it's on the camera. Ah, here you can, yeah. So you can see all these stress marks. Now what we're going to do is find out where the stress marks finish. So they're going to finish somewhere under this last piece. So if we follow the stress cracks along, okay, they've sort of finished here. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut this bedside up here so we know we got no stress cracks. So we're going to just cut it straight the way through here, and then we can use that back half again and just make a new back for it. So let's cut this up now. So what we're doing now, we're actually preparing the mould to put the panel that we've just cut in. So this is the piece which we're going to make. So we're going to make this bit, but we're actually going to polish the whole mould. Doesn't harm it, just stops it sticking in there when we make the new one. So yeah, so George is putting on the polishing compound, which is a really hard wax. Just going to put 2 coats on it because we used this not long ago, so it's actually still quite slippy. So yeah, so it isn't going to take too long to get this ready. So as soon as it's ready, we can drop in the piece we just cut, and it's all ground up, and then we just clamp it down into the mould, and then we can make the new back half of this. So let's get on with it. Alright, so now we've got the panel that we've cut, we can drop it back in the mould. And now you can see where we're going to make up to. So we're going to re-gel coat this piece here, and a little bit over here, so we get on the gap, and then we can re-fiberglass all of this piece in. So we've saved that much, so we're not wasting fiberglass. So what we're going to do now is just clamp this in here with a couple of G clamps or F clamps, and start doing some gel coat. Okay, so it's all clamped in the mould now, so it's all done. While we're doing that, George is actually, because we're making loads at the same time, so George is just preparing another bedside there. He's already prepared a tailgate, so that's all got wax on, so then we got to buff both of them off in a minute and then put one more coat of wax on, and then we can start getting ready with some gel coat. Okay, so just finishing off the last bit of the mould. So we've done that bed side, done this bed side, and the tailgate, that's already done. Oh, I've just seen a bit, I've got to touch up a little bit on here. Need a little bit more in there. As I'm saying, it doesn't matter if you get a run, because we're going to go over the top of it anyway with fibreglass. So just got to leave these for probably about an hour and a half now, just to tack off, and then we can put on the fibreglass. Okay, so now we're going to start to prepare to get the fibreglass in. So first one we're going to do is the one that's cut in half. So I've already prepared the fibreglass. I've already cut out for where the wheel arch is, so when we get to put it in there, it's a lot quicker and we don't have any wastage. So we can still use all these parts another time for doing other stuff. Yeah, so now I'm just going to mix up the resin now. So already poured it in. Compared to the gel coat, this is a lot runnier. Also, I'm going to tint it as well, so get some pigment. So just a little bit. Don't actually need a lot to tint it. That'd be enough. You can see, look, so strong this pigment, makes it go black really quick. Add the hardener or the catalyst, whatever you call it, and then just give it a good mix. So we're probably going to have to make, this is a 3 litre bucket. Going to probably need more than 3 litres to finish this panel. So that's fairly well mixed. Let's get the brush. So I keep all my brushes, everything I use, all goes in here. So that's where all the rollers are, so nothing ends up being dry and getting covered in resin. So that's acetone. That's acetone in there. Okay, and we drop that straight in the acetone. Let's give it a good flick out now. And then we just go over to the panel. So now we're just going to coat everything in resin. So right over where we've cut it, where the joint is. Do all the edges. Not worried about getting runs, it doesn't matter, because this is the inside. Let's take that little piece out. It's really hot here today, isn't it, George?
Yeah.
Oh, George has got a mask on. George doesn't like the smell of this at all. It doesn't bother me. Some people are sensitive to fiberglass smells, but I've been doing this a while. So yeah, so you have to got to work fairly fast today because it's really warm in the workshop today. So I've actually made this up fairly, not as strong as I normally would. It's so hot. It's like it's over 25 in here already. Ooh. So just get all the edges done, nearly done on this. I think this is the first time I've actually shown you me doing it sort of in real time, because I think the last time we did a bit of fiberglass and I did it on time lapse. Alright, so that's that bit done. Get the first sheet. Drop it in the mould. Try and get it nice and square. And you can adjust this quite a lot, to tell the truth. So I'm trying to get the edge on this really quite tight to that. That looks fairly good. Alright, so now you can actually see where the resin is already coming through. But it's really quite hard to get it onto this bit. So if I can just give it a little tear in this corner, what I do is I push this back down now, and I put the resin straight on this side as well. So we know the resin's gone all the way through. It's harder to get resin to stick on a vertical surface. So this is a good way of getting it to do it. So then you just get it back and just fold it up. Start in the corners and then work your way up. Now if you get like a little wrinkle like that, you can actually get that out just by keep tapping it. And then if you go over with a roller, you can actually roll it about. So the idea of the roller is you're just trying to get all the air out. So where it's a bit dry on here, we can just go. And this is all what fibreglass is about. Just trying to get the resin to go all the way through the glass mat. If you're doing really big panels, you can actually do it with a roller. Like a normal house roller, you can do it with that. So I'll just work this one back into the corners now. You right there, George? Okay. When I get this wet, I can actually see, because I'm going to get my scissors in a minute, and then cut this back. Ready? Okay, so first coat of glass is all on. So now we're using the roller to make sure all the resin has gone all the way through the glass and there's no air bubbles. So the resin and the glass are sitting right down on the gel coat. Because if you look in this corner now, you can see, if you're not careful, you can leave bubbles in there. So now we're going to get the bubbles out, squeeze them all the way up, or push it through the fiberglass. You don't want any voids in there. If you have a void in there, that's when you get those big fiberglass blisters you might have seen. So just trying to go through this without, it does spray everywhere, so I'm trying to be careful with it because I don't want to get it all over George and the camera. Corners are the trickiest bits, corners and edges, especially vertical edges or edges that you come back on yourself. Okay, so that's that first coat all the way done. So just got to put another one on there. So exactly the same as the first time, except we don't have to wet the mould down this time because it's already got the fiberglass in it. So now we just got to line everything back up again. Sometimes you will find it will pull what you've done down before, so you have to be careful with that. And this is exactly the same as we did last time, so just line all the edges up, try and get everything nice and square, nice, so there's no too much wastage on this. Just a little bit more this way. Yeah, that should be good because we've got a nice overlap, so we're trying to make the overlaps bigger on the panels. So yeah. Let's get on with some more fiberglass and I'll come back to you soon. Okay, so all in all, it's taken just over half an hour to put all the fiberglass back in the panel. So that one's all ready, so we just got to leave it. Today's so hot, it'll probably go off in under 2 hours, but we're gonna leave it overnight and we'll take it out in the morning. But now it's time for George's first attempt at fiberglassing. So got a nice tailgate over there. George, this one's up to you. Okay, so this is George's first attempt at fiberglassing. So we're giving him something, one of the easier panels to make. So this is the tailgate. So what he's doing at the moment, he's going up to the edge all the way around. So we've got a nice cut line, and we get the fiberglass to stick to it. So he's just doing the top edge at the moment. So this is the top of the tailgate. This side, that is the bottom edge of the tailgate. So then he's done that. So now if you do the ends, just go all the way across the ends. So you want to brush it all the way along here, and then do this edge, and then just fill in the rest of it, George. You want to fill in the rest after. So you want to do this edge, do that edge along there, and then this edge all the way along. You can see, Rob, I was running a little bit low on gel coat yesterday when I was doing this one. I was running out a little bit. So you can see it's a little bit thin, but it's going to be all right because it's a tailgate. And we all know tailgates don't last very long on Swamp Thing. So let's, George, finish off this and then we can put some mat in. God, George is absolutely flying along. So drop the mat in. Now put that coat of resin over everything. So now he's doing the hard bit. So that edge, he's got the edge into the right place. He's folded it down. Now he's back filling it with resin. And that's it. All you have to do now is lift it back up, George, and then get the brush and then push it back in again with the brush. Try and keep it nice and straight. Try not to stretch it. You should just be able to fold it up. That's it. Do I make it look easy, George? Yeah. Yeah.
Messy.
It's messy, right? So get the brush.
Yeah.
Try and knock some of the resin off, so you can drop some of the resin on here, just dab it on there, and then just push it back up there with the brush, and you'll find it to stick in.
A bit messy.
I know it's messy. I've been doing it a while, so I make it look fairly easy.
I don't even know what's going on.
Alright, so what you're doing now is you're actually dragging it up because you want to be in the corner. That's it. Just dab it back in the corners. What I'll do in a minute, I'll get the roller out and I'd help you roller it in. The roller would help it stay up. But you're getting there, you're getting there. You can tidy up the edge in a minute. Remember to push it into that corner. You're actually pulling it up, so you want to push it down. You're making it longer and longer. That's what your problem is. You want to try and keep the edge right. That edge was right on the very corner of it when we started, so you want to actually push it back down a bit, and then you'll find it be a little bit easier. That's it. You see where the edges are hardly sticking up, it all sticks nice. That's alright. So I'll put the camera down now and I'll give you a hand to get this bit back on the line. But you're getting there.
This bit was the worst bit.
That's the worst bit, but I can sort that bit out. So if you can start putting resin over the rest of it now. So I want to put the resin and work it all the way this way. And then I can sort out that top edge. So now George is onto the roller bit. How are you finding it so far, George?
A lot better than I was trying to do what I was doing.
Yeah. So now he's onto the roller. So now he's just squeezing all the air out, making sure it's got really good contact into the gel coat. And then we can put another layer of fiberglass on it. So this is 600 GSM, what we're putting on here. So then, once you've done that last bit then, George, then it's just roll the whole thing backwards and forwards this way. You don't have to spend too much time on this one because we're going to give it a really good roller when we get the next coat on. So just go backwards and forwards now, that's it. You can hear when it's right, it makes that funny noise. That's the noise you want, that squeaky duck noise. If it doesn't make the squeaky duck noise, it hasn't quite got enough on there. That's the noise we want. Cool. So yeah, so just roller this one out, and then we get another layer on. Wow, George, for your first attempt, I know you had that little hiccup on that top edge, but we fixed that. That looks pretty good, buddy. You pleased?
Yeah.
Look at me. Are you pleased?
Yeah.
Well, I think you've done really well, George. Yeah, for your first time, I know the tailgate is one of the easier bits to do, but you got to start somewhere. And yeah, I think you're going to be impressed when you pop this out, George, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's the next day down here at the workshop. So panels have been in overnight. So this one, I've already popped this one a little bit. So this one's that's going to be nice and easy. So this is the one that we've just repaired the back half of it. It really well. Let's see, I haven't even had a look at myself yet. So if you have a look at that now, come on, that zoom in on this, George. So there, hardly any joint. So what we're going to do next is just go back in with a grinder, just grind this joint back, and we're just going to fibreglass this little piece again, and then just blend it in. But that's an easy way of repairing just the back half of the panel. So nice and ready to use again. There's another one. So next one to take out is the one what George has made. So I think you should get this one out, George. Do you reckon you can get this one, the next one out?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Have faith, you can do it. You've done everything else right. So let's put this one down. You see how I do it? You just go around and break the edge and just pull it out. Okay, so you've got to have faith, George. So you just go around, push all the way around the edge. You see it's cracking off there. So now get up to the top. There it is, you can hear it, that noise is it just coming unstuck. Just go back to the corner you was at and then just pull that up and it'll just pop out. All of a sudden it'll go. Keep going. Just keep going up, it'll pop out. There you go. Right. Yeah. Yeah, just come around and then just lift it out now. So you've actually got it out, and then we can see what it looks like. This would be your first bit of proper fiberglass in. You probably find it just stuck itself back in there again now. Just lift it up at that top corner. I'll give you a hand with this end. So lift that top corner out. Off you go. There you go. If we go up now and we'll put it up onto the table. Up the other way. Just light down. So there you go, George. Your first bit of fiberglass seems to come out. And that's really good. So all we have to do is trim all the panels up now. And then we're all ready for painting. So here's the panel that we fixed. You can see the new bit against the old bit. Now on there's the join in the middle. So in the join there is a slight air gap. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grind back through the surface now, and then what we can do then is go back in with fiberglass to make sure there's no air gaps in it so it won't crack again. So now we've ground down where the join is. So now you can see where that air bubble was before. So now we've ground it right the way through, and now we can put some fiberglass back in to build it to back up again, and then all we have to do then is sand that down and then put a little bit of filler over the top, and we're all good to go. So there we go, where we rejoined it. So it's all glass back together. Just got to wait for it to dry now, and then we can sand it and then just blend it in with a little bit of filler, and then we're all ready for painting. So while I was doing that, I had a little bit of spare, well, not spare time, but it just takes time to do it. So made another tailgate to go with the one that George has made. So yeah, just getting loads of spares all ready. I'm really delighted. We just had a Panel Max delivery or turn up. So let's see what we got today. They always send loads of good cleaning products to keep something looking at its best. So inside this one we've got the quick detailer. So this is ready to use straight out the bottle. Just spray it over, keeps the truck looking nice and clean. Use this quite a bit. Silicone lubricant. Also good for spraying around all the electrical components so the water doesn't get in there. So stuff like all these components on this rear steer motor, before we assemble it back into the truck, we spray all the joints just to make sure we don't get any water in there. Also, we use this a lot, summer jacket. So this is a really good polish. It's got nanotechnology in it. So if you've heard of Rain-X, this is very similar, but this is for paint. So this actually fills in all the holes in the paint. So when the water lands on it, it doesn't actually sit, it just flows straight off. Also really good, especially for UV protection to stop your paint fading. And that's ready to use, spray it out the bottle. So, and that's everything in that box. So let's see what else they've sent over. Like these. So when we're working on the truck, it's normally fairly dirty. So we use these. These are their hand wipes. You just pull the top out, pull them out, and you can snap them off. And then you can just put them away and dispose of them. So you haven't, because all the time we're working on the truck, time's important. So we don't want to have to keep going changing gloves or going to wash our hands. We can use this, and also it's good for wiping down parts on the truck as well. So if you get some dirty parts like around 4-link bars or something, this is really good. This gets it all off as well. For the tractor unit, air fresheners. What else have we got in here? Oh. Super snow foam for all the, when you're putting the snow foam on the monster truck. So we've got different versions of that. Green stuff remover. This is for like your algae on your caravans and stuff like that. So this is awesome. That stuff you can use it on awnings as well. And power maxed stud lock. We use that on all the components on the monster truck. So if we don't want the bolts to come loose, so we use that for that. And that's everything in that box. We got more boxes yet. Right, we use a lot of these. This box contains long-lasting brake cleaner. So when we're working on the brakes, or if George is putting the GoPros on the truck, we use this to clean off all the surfaces. Also, it doesn't say it, does it? But we found out it's really good for removing silicone. So if you've got this, well, like around the axles, where we put the planetaries on, we got a silicone, put some silicone in there. So when you've taken it apart and want to put it back together, you need to get all the silicone off. You spray this up and all the silicone just wrinkles up. So we find that really good. So we use quite a bit of that. So that's that box. Still got more boxes. Oh. Alright, so in this one we got tyre shine. Swamping's got massive tyres, we want them looking the best. So that's tyre shine and that's ready to use. It stays on there really well. The only problem we find with it, what we get with it, is because normally on a car you're not running in a field, the dust will stick to it, so then we come back with the snow foam and then rinse it off and then reapply. But it's really, really good stuff. Glass cleaner, we use a lot of glass. We use this on the Lexan as well. So yeah, so this is really good, and that's of course ready to use straight out the bottle. Got another box. What's in this one? We'll do this one here because we're running out of room on the bench. Right, so we got the Blizzard Snow Foam. And see, look at the dilution ratio on this. So for this 1 litre bottle makes up 33 litres of snow foam. Some more glass cleaner, and then I know exactly what this is before I even unwrap it. So this is TFR remover, traffic film remover. So that is what we use to keep the trailer looking like it does. So thank you Paramax for your delivery. We use it all the time. It's really great stuff. We're really pleased that you've joined us as one of our sponsors. Okay, so I've left it overnight, so now this is all nice and dry. So we can cut that back there now, and then cut the other part, and then we can sand that. This one's all ready, so this one's been left overnight, so this one's ready to come out. So just push this and it should come out. And there's another tailgate. So we can trim all them up now. So that's another one all ready to trim up. So what we'll do, get all our overalls on, we'll put all the moulds away, trim everything up, and then we can get ready to start sanding it. Do a little bit of filler work on that one where we've got the join in it, and then we can start sanding them down, getting ready for do some painting.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
To the final bit, which is a bit of filler, which Dad's preparing now over there, and then it'll be ready to be sprayed.
Yeah, so all the panels are all sanded now, so George has been concentrating on the tailgate. So that's all ready. This is the new bedside, and that's the repaired one with a little bit of filler left in it. So that's all blended. So next thing to do is clean everything up in here now, because there's dust absolutely everywhere. So we've got to try and get rid of most of the dust. We're going to damp down the floor, and then we can start spraying some primer. Keep going. Yeah. And back again. That's it. Good speed, good speed. A little bit quick at the end. Keep going. Now come to this side and carry on going. And again. And again.
Where?
The bottom edge. So there you go, George. That's not bad. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? So that's George's first attempt of spraying. I might sound a bit funny because I got the mask off. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the vlog for this week. We'll go into show what we do after we finish painting it. But yes, I can see this vlog's going to be quite a long one. So I hope you stayed all the way to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe and click notifications and do all that YouTubey sort of stuff. Yeah, we got loads of shows coming up. So we're going off to Bug Jam next. But the weather forecast isn't looking good for that one. So stay tuned to the channel and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.